this rivalry very well might be renewed this upcoming season. Like for me and my money, it's been Cincinnati and Baltimore over the last several years. Maybe it's going to be both. Like this is a legit division. Good luck predicting how it all goes out. You're going to have Russ with a chip on his shoulder and the revamped, kind of renewed Pittsburgh Steelers. I assume that he's going to be your starter over Kenny Pickett. You're going to have Deshaun Watson coming back from injury with that new supporting cast with playmaking ability all around him in Cleveland, right? You're going to have Joe Burrow coming back from injury in Cincinnati. You know that they have a bunch of playmaking ability. And then you got Baltimore. Like, this is a no-joke division. You got to make it through. You got to earn your right to win this division. And that's going to be something. Like, could all four teams, how many teams are going to be in the AFC playoff picture? You get the sense that all four have a chance. It's going to be insane. Insane to think about. Something Sarah tweeted earlier on kind of got me thinking, and I just put out a personal video about this a little while ago. Did Patrick Queen have an ulterior motive? Did he have an ulterior motive in signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers? What I mean by that is I'm not questioning his character. I'm not questioning his integrity. I'm not questioning who he is as a man. I think he matured and became a Baltimore Raven inside linebacker, one that's all Pro Bowl caliber, and somebody who was deserving of a payday. We all knew that wasn't going to happen in Baltimore. But the reason why I tweeted something to Joe Person, who covers the Carolina Panthers earlier today, actually, again, live right now on Wednesday, March 13th, kind of inquiring about where the ballpark offers from Carolina were. They were believed to be in the running for Patrick Queen. And it just had me wondering, like, was that offer, were those numbers anywhere within the ballpark of what Pittsburgh ended up signing him for? Because if they were, I'd really be wondering if these things on the screen impacted his decision to go to a bitter rival, to see Baltimore twice a year for the foreseeable future, to be in division. And we have a trade right now. This is happening live. We're going to revisit this in just a second. Okay, the Ravens are sending Morgan Moses to the New York Jets as part of a pick swap. The Jets are going to receive Morgan and a fourth-round pick. They're number 134th overall next month. And the Ravens receive a fourth-round pick in exchange, 112th, and a sixth-rounder, 218 overall. So all of a sudden, the Ravens are making waves right now ahead of the new league year. Morgan Moses is being shipped to New York. He's joining the Jets, and it's a pick swap. So Moses and a fourth rounder, this year's 134th overall, is going to New York. And the Ravens, in exchange, are receiving a fourth-round pick and a sixth-round pick. Those two things are coming to Baltimore. So they pad their picks. They're going to be looking at who their next potential right tackle is. Perhaps that's Patrick McCary to start. Perhaps that is somebody in the draft. Maybe this really starts to kind of shift their gears to finding that tackle early in the draft, perhaps at 30 overall, perhaps in the second round. But again, after 4 p.m. Eastern today, in a little over 3 hours from now, that will become official. And remember, this is actually a reuniting for Morgan Moses, who's going to be going back to New York where he once was. You missed a lot.
What just happened?
You missed a lot, you didn't miss anything besides, a pre-new league year trade.
Who do we trade?
Morgan Moses is heading to New York. The Ravens it's a pick swap. He's joining the Jets and a fourth rounder. They're sending Moses and a fourth rounder. And the Ravens are getting a fourth round pick in exchange, number 112 overall, that they sent the 134th over to New York, and a sixth rounder they're also going to get 218 overall. So Morgan Moses is gone. Perhaps Daniel Falele or Patrick McCary is your starting right tackle. But now this whole conversation about the tackle depth is going to become front and center at the draft. When will that become a priority for the Ravens? Will it be strong enough to compete with the McCarys and the Faleles? And now it looks like there will definitely be a new right tackle not named Morgan Moses in 2024.
Let EDC cook. Because just a few minutes ago, Bobby, I was saying that Morgan Moses is going to be a cap casualty. Oh, Eric DeCosta's like, well, yes, but no, Sarah. Okay, we're gonna recoup that $5.5 million, but I'm gonna get, let's see. So they're going and a 4th round. So they're gonna move up in the 4th round,
moving up,
and
adding a
6th round pick. All right,
now giving up that 4th rounder, but they're moving up.
So they already had 2 4th round picks because of the comp pick.
Yep.
For Powers, right? Ravens
Ben
got
Powers a year ago.
They're at the back of the 4th round because of that, and they were already towards the back of the 4th round because of where they finished in the playoffs. So now they move up. Geez, more than 20 spots. And if we're talking about depth at wide receiver and an offensive line, you can go get yourself a guard in the 4th round. That's what Powers was.
Sure.
Right? And then a 6th round pick. So these aren't like, massive like 2nd rounder or 1st rounder, but these are the little things that EDC does. He just picked up $5.5 million by trading him and not just cutting him, but then moved up 22 spots in the 4th round and picked up an extra 6th rounder in a draft that everybody's saying there's a ton of depth. So, these are the small moves that make a big difference in the end. And oh, by the way, he got Ronnie Stanley to do a pay cut. Let EDC cook.
Yeah, it's been a productive week. So here you are. If you're just joining us with over 3,200 right now, concurrently watching this stream, we're glad you're here. Sarah Ellison, Bobby Trossett, live on YouTube, live on Twitter. We have a trade and a reunion. The Ravens are sending starting right tackle Morgan Moses to the New York Jets as part of a pick swap. That's according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Jets are going to receive Morgan and a 4th round pick, Baltimore's 134th overall next month. And in exchange, the Ravens will get a 4th round pick back. They're moving up, like you said, to 112 and a 6th round pick. Add that to what's becoming mostly next year. All these compensatory picks are going to become a slew of them for 2025. But at least you add to what you already have in terms of draft capital going into next month. And like you said, EDC is on an all-out heater. And this whole rebuild, remember during one of the press conferences this offseason, John Harbaugh made it clear. He referred to this offseason as a rebuild at offensive line. I think that was at the combine. Or maybe at one of the end of the season press conferences. He referred to it as a rebuild. You're starting to see why.
And so I'm seeing questions already about like how much the Ravens have now. It's hard to know for sure, but we do know between Morgan Moses and Tyus Bowser, they were both $5.5 million. So the Ravens just freed up $11 million, but we still don't know how much he got from the pay cut to Ronnie Stanley. I don't know, maybe $3 million. I don't know, 3, 4, 2 to 4. I don't know, somewhere in that range. So they're going to be cap compliant. And then, if he needs to make any other moves, he does have restructures, plenty of places to do restructures in his pocket.
Unbelievable. We have really timed this nicely the last couple of days, haven't we?
Oh my gosh, news keeps breaking. Noon time just feels like a good time.